Hello, it's Nicole Norris here, and I'm back for the June scrapbooking project recipe collaboration with my friend Kimberly Sparks. Super exciting when this goes live and I post this, I will actually be with Kimberly Sparks at a Creative Memories Rose Blossom Team convention. So I'm super excited. It'll actually be the first time I meet her in person, I believe. Anyways, so I am getting this recorded and posted in advance, but it will get posted while I'm at that convention, which does bring me to just bring up, I'm telling you, if you're looking for a fun community to be a part of, and if you've ever thought about or wanted to, and are a huge fan of Creative Memories and want to join a fun team, you would be more than welcome to join my Creative Memories team. We do have a lot of fun. Um, it's a great opportunity, whether you're a hobbyist or looking to do it more as a business. All are welcome. No minimums. There's an awesome sign-on bonus. You get some good product credit when you reach your level 2. If you'd like more information, just reach out to me. I'd love to share more. And it's been super fun. I've just hit my year mark last month, and it has been a great adventure. And I was with Close to My Heart for 19 years, actually, before I joined Creative Memories. Anyways, enough about that. But if you do want more information, don't hesitate to ask me. I'd love to give you more details. We do have quite the fun team in Creative Memories, on Creative Memories under Brenda Rose, our upline. So, anyways, let's get to the scrapbooking part because that's why you're here. So this is month 6. It's June. This will be our halfway mark in doing this collaboration with Kimberly. It's been so fun. We take the 52 scrapbooking project recipes book, and we have picked 12 sketches out of there. These are the ones we've done, and these are the ones I have marked to do next. And we each take that sketch, we use whatever product we want, and sometimes it's things from our stash. Usually there's definitely some Creative Memory product in there, and we make it our own to work with our photos. So this month we are using project recipe number 25. They're using the Totally Tonal Tangerine collection to create the layout in the book. So let's take a closer look at what we've got here. Let me just stick that out of the way here, so it's not on there. Anyways, it looks like on the sketch, on the project recipe, there are 5 or 6 photos. We've got 3 larger photos over on the left-hand page and 3 smaller photos on the right-hand page. We've got some fun layering going on. There's some fun borders. Super cute layout. I actually think this layout has a lot of potential. I really like it. I am going to be switching this up just a little bit to work with my photos. But I do like the layering. I like the layout. I think it's got some good space for like if we look at the actual sketch without the paper, like if you were to think about this in white cardstock or more of a neutral base, I like that it has some good resting spot for the eye. So I really like this sketch. We're just going to do a little bit of switching up just to work with my pictures. So let's take a look at the pictures I've got this time. We've got kind of our focal picture and 2 larger photos on the left-hand page. And I have some pictures of my daughter from her recital. She is a hardcore violinist, very talented, works super, super hard. And this end of the summer last year, she did her book 10 recital, basically graduating and completing the Suzuki violin program. And we did like a backyard recital. So this is my backyard from my viewpoint of watching her play. And then I've got some fun pictures of those who came and supported her in her senior recital. This is her violin teacher, who is phenomenal and will be a lifelong friend. She is amazing. She's not only has become a dear friend of mine, but she's also been an amazing friend and mentor and violin teacher, all of the above, life teacher, life coach to my daughter Cassie. So I love that she has her in her life. And then I've got another 4x6 photo of Cassie with her accompanist, who is so talented and has been so amazing to work with. These pictures, on the book, on the recipe, it says 3 3/4 by 5 3/4 photos for those 3 photos. I printed them as 4x6s with a border. So when I went into my print options, I could click 4x6 borderless or 4x6, and the 4x6 not borderless, the other, just the regular 4x6, does print a white border around the edge. And so I did that with these 3 4x6 photos, and because I wanted a smaller mat than what the sketch would have, because with the sketch they suggested a 5 3/4 by 3 3/4 photos, and then you have the paper behind it, which are 4x6 pieces. So really I took care of 4x6 with a mat and a thinner mat, which I prefer, by just printing them as 4x6s with that white border on there. So hopefully that makes sense. And that's just using my Epson 400 P400, and that's just one of the print options. Like you can print a 4x6 borderless or just a 4x6 with that white border, so makes it easy. Then on the right hand page we've got 3 3.5 by 3.5 photos, and this is where I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I actually have some pictures of her with some of the people that came to support her, and so I printed these as 3x4, and I have 6 of them. So I'm picturing doing like 2 rows like this across that right hand page is what I'm picturing. So I'm going to want to mat these to match the left hand page with some white cardstock. So we're definitely going to be doing that. And then let's pull some paper out here. So this was a collection that actually I have used the other variations of it. It's called, Capri Blue, but it's from the Vivid Melodies collection. And they had like 4 different colors. They have the Capri Blue, there was a pink, a buttercup, or I think it was more yellows and oranges, and there was a green version of this collection, and the papers were all the same prints, but then they were the different patterns. And I thought that this paper would be perfect because the background of a lot of my photos in the house is blue, and so I thought that this would be perfect. So I've pulled out a couple of sheets from there. This piece I love. I think it is absolutely gorgeous paper. It's just beautiful paper. And I actually love the plaid on the back of this paper too. I love both sides of this paper. And then looking at the sketch, I pulled out a couple of other supporting pieces, which I thought that this piece with the lighter blue and had a kind of a pattern to it, but was monochromatic, looked nice next to it, as well as this white piece. So we're going to kind of see what I end up using, but I liked those. And then because I'm matting my photos in white, I actually thought it would be kind of nice to not have a stark white for my base, but I pulled out this beige and thought that that would be really pretty and very soft, especially where the paper is so bright and vibrant blues. And also I kind of was thinking like the backdrop of these photos is more of a gray color. So whether the ones taken inside and then the ones taken outside, there's actually gray trim on the house and stuff. So I was thinking kind of along that line, the blues and grays. And so I did pull out this beige cardstock. The beige has a little bit more brown in it than more of a brown gray. And so I'm actually going to go and look through my Close to My Heart paper, and I have this linen cardstock that is a little bit lighter and more gray, or has more blue tones in it. And I actually think I like that better. So instead of using the beige, I think I'm going to pull this linen cardstock. That's, like I said, it's just from my stash. It's some old, close to my heart cardstock. And use that for my base. I think I like, you know how grays, they're a chameleon color. They pull the colors in it, but the beige definitely has more brown in it. And I like this cooler gray that comes in the gray, or that I have in this linen. I think that works better. So, okay, so I'm thinking that for my base. So let's cut some paper here. I'm flipping this over to look at the cutting side of it. And it looks like we've got this strip of pattern paper that is 6 by 11. And it does look like C, D, E, and F. Where is C, D, and oh, they do use some of those pieces in other places. So because this is my hero paper, this is what I'm using where they have the polka dot, or for piece A and B, which is 6 by 11. So I'm going to cut off that. Here, let me switch the book with my paper trimmer so you can see what I am doing here. And I'm going to zoom out just maybe a little bit there. Hopefully that helps. Okay. Kind of can see that. So I'm going to first cut off an inch off the bottom. And then I'm going to turn it and cut it in half. So we've got two 6 by 11 inch pieces. And those are going to go across the inside, flush with the inside edges of the left and the right page. So that's looking good. And I could definitely see myself using that plaid on the other side. So we're going to hold that. And then we've got piece Q, which is where they use the white with a dot. And then, which I was kind of thinking this print for that area. So, although that looks good too, looking at it side by side with the paper, I do think I want to use this for piece Q, which is a 9 by 7 inch piece. So do this piece. All right, and that is going to overlap. And it looks like they do have it flush with the left side of the page. So that is looking good. I kind of wish I'd been paying closer attention and had the direction of the paper going this way. It's not, it's a little bit directional with the little kind of arrows, but too late now, it's already cut. Okay, so let me show you what we've got here. Let's see if I can get both pages in on the camera. Okay. So we've kind of got this going on. And then these two photos are going to go right here. And then this one is coming right here. And then I definitely need to mat these photos because these are going to go see. I think I'll put that one there. I'm kind of looking at like the background of the photos and then the number of people in the photos. I think like that. Okay, those are 3x4 pieces. So I'm going to pull out my bright white scraps to try to get those photo mats out of there. And they're a 3x4, and I just want a nice thin mat that kind of matches what's on the 4x6. And so I'm going to need just 1/8 of an inch larger, I think. Let's look and see how big this mat is. So the mat is about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to want to cut my cardstock 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, which does give me 1/8 of an inch around the photos. Okay. And I need 6 of these. And especially where this is on that busy pattern paper that is beautiful. Look how that helps to make those photos stand out so much better. And I love that I'm using up scraps for this. Let's see, we need 2 more, so I need another scrap in here. Need somewhat of a decent size. Let's see here. Let's see if this one is big enough. Oh, that is not big enough. This one looks like it's big enough to get one out of there. So when I originally used this Vivid Melodies collection, I created a workshop that I took the collection and I created the same set of layouts with each collection. I did the 3 collections. I had the I think it was lemon tart. Here's a test of my memory. I think it was a lemon tart, a raspberry or razzle something berry, and then the buttercup. And I created, you can see them all on my blog, I think. I created the same set of layouts and just switched out the paper. And each set, I mean, I love those layouts. Like it was super fun to show how all I changed was the paper packet and the embellishments, which the embellishments had very similar embellishments, just in the different color schemes. And so it was super fun. It was a fun project to do, just where I took, like I said, this one workshop guide that I had created and then duplicated it the 3 times using the 3 different collections. I actually picked up this paper separately later when I kind of came across it, and it's so pretty. So, but if you've been with Creative Memories for more than a year, when this collection came out, you may have it in your stash and been like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. So if you're looking for more inspiration using the Vivid Melodies collections, any of the color schemes, any of the colors, check. I'll put a link to that blog post where you can see those layouts, because they're super fun. I really was pleased and happy with how those turned out. They're really cute. Okay, I'm gonna put that my white cardstock scrap bag away, because I've got those all done. Okay, let's look at what else we've got here paper-wise. So it looks like that they've ran in the recipe a piece across here and another piece over here behind this main photo, which I do like, except that because I'm using 6 photos, that's going to kind of change what that looks like on my layout. So they had a piece over here, and I don't know if I really want that piece running all the way across, because it basically was this 5-inch by 12-inch piece, but they used the back side of it. So let's see what that looks like, and then we might decide not to use it. Might take it out completely. So I definitely don't like that side with the white photo mats. And I definitely don't like where it's the thin piece. So I do like the piece over here. It would kind of be like that. Maybe. What other paper do I have in here? Let's see. Okay, I've got that piece that I used. I obviously don't want to do another blue. I don't think I want either of those. Nope, I don't want that. I love this piece, by the way. That's such a pretty piece. I do love that plaid. I wonder if I want to actually pull in maybe some cardstock, and maybe the green actually might be nice. So let's pull some dark green. Because I do have some green in my photos and I have some green in that hero paper. That has some potential. That actually would make the photo kind of pop from it. And it's a little 3x7 piece. So I'm going to cut that. Sorry, I know I am off camera, but okay. All right, I kind of like the blue coming across here, so I'm going to go cut a 9-inch tall piece to match this height. And then I'm going to slide this under here. And then if I like it, I will actually, before I glue down, I will definitely trim strips to go up here and here. And I actually, because I am not going to cover up all of this beautiful floral paper and waste that, because I love that paper. It's like my favorite in there. And the reason why I might cut this down is to move that kind of over. I'm going to slide this so it's hitting my stand that's holding my camera. Something like that. And then, let's see here. I do want to pull over the green onto this side. Something like this. And I was thinking maybe a punch would be pretty. I just have some of my punches like punched out of cardstock, so I could kind of like lay them on here. See how something maybe like that could be pretty. I could even have it go all the way. Trim this down and have it be kind of a square centered on the layout. I'm liking that. Then I could bring that green over. Okay, I'm liking how this is looking. All right, here's what I want to do. I am going to kind of place these photos and then measure what I need to cut this down to. I could also do some math and figure this out. So I'm doing 10.5 by 9. And I can always trim it some more if I need to. But it's definitely harder to add more space. So And that looks perfect. Okay, so I did 10.5 by 9, and then I have 6 photos that are 3 by 4, and the mats are 1/4 inch larger, so 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then I'm going to punch this in that dark green and put a layer, cut it in half and put a layer above and below it. Yes, I am liking how this is coming together. And I've got all my punches right here. Looks like it's this one. It's the floral ribbon. So let me move this out of the way. So I can punch this. Okay. I have really enjoyed incorporating borders and border punches into my scrapbooking. Like, I know you guys know that that wasn't something I'd ever used before because I was apparently living under a rock. And it's been super fun. All right, I'm gonna want to cut this down to that 10.5 because that's how long my pattern paper is there. And then I'm also going to want to cut this in half, which looks like it's about right there. It's going to be tucked under so it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. So like that. And like that. That's pretty. Okay. It kind of pulls the green across. So I like that. Super cute. All right, I think I am ready to glue things down. I did wonder if I wanted that border over here, which means I would need to switch out that piece and then maybe do the border out of the gray. Let's see if I've got a scrap of that linen cardstock here. Okay. Like that. I think I like it. We're gonna let it sit. Sometimes you just gotta let it cook, as the kids say. Okay, and then we can add, now that we've got all of our pieces cut, I think I did pretty much everything they had on guide here. Put those scraps in there. Let's see. I have those. I did that. I didn't back my border, but that's fine. Yeah, there we go. All right, now we're ready to go ahead and embellish this layout. So I think I'm going to glue pieces down, and then we will begin embellishing. Okay, I've got everything glued down. I just wanted to point out, like, I'm planning on this 4x6 peekaboo pocket right here. So I have glued down the one photo, and then on the back side of here, I'm actually going to put my journaling, and I'll either use like one of the map pack type cards, or I have a lot of like cards like that, or I'll print my journaling on a 4x6 piece of like cardstock and slide that in there. So that's where I'm going to put my journaling. So that's going to go right there. So I have printed or glued down the one photo, and then I will add this to the outside of the sheet protector, and so that it'll flip open to be able to read that journaling. Okay, so let's look at some embellishments. The first thing, I had pulled out some couple of different things. There is the Vivid Melodies floral embellishments that coordinate with this collection. And it has a bunch of flowers and things like that in it, as well as these cute sparkles, which you know how I feel about gems and sparkles, so I think that that could be super fun. I also could see putting maybe some like smaller silver like sparkles just to add a little bit of bling, because you guys know me and bling. I love it. Anyways, I've also pulled out some Craft Happy rub-ons, and I cut mine apart so that I've got like these little strips, and I was thinking these would be super cute to kind of run across like the top and bottom of my layout. And the reason I'm putting the navy blue darker one on the bottom is because it kind of grounds the paper, grounds that layout, whereas a lighter color across the top, kind of like that. Okay. And then for my title, I have these Let's Have Fun laser cut embellishments. I think this came in some sort of like advisor exclusive thing. I think maybe with a launch or something. I don't know. I'm not sure where I got those. I think that's where they came from. And there was this one that says Superstar. And honestly, I know I'm her mom, so I'm a little bit biased. But yeah, she's freaking awesome. So I'm gonna go with definitely thinking she's a superstar. So let's take some of these flowers, and I'm going to want to kind of build some clusters, basically, kind of in here. And this leaf is from the embellishment pack that coordinated with this Vivid Medley collection. And I thought that that would be kind of cute, maybe down in like behind here like this. So here's what I'm kind of thinking, something like that. I don't mind if that overlaps the picture. And this will overlap that one flower, but I think that'll be okay. It'll help people realize that there is a flip-flap there. So now that I've got this cluster here, I kind of want to create that visual triangle to lead their eye across the layout. So let's get some more flowers. There's such cute flowers in here. So let's see, that blue is good down there. Then I'd want to kind of do maybe the green So maybe, but I don't think I want the green next, the same. Let's put this one up here. Like I'm repeating the pattern across, and I don't mind, like, but I don't want kind of maybe something like that. And then there's this happy place that was like in there. So I've got those stitching. Something like, maybe something like that is cute. And then this blue one is kind of getting lost back there. So I wonder if, let's see, if I stuck this, maybe something like, that kind of helps that one pop, and then I could put this littler one right in there. Maybe kind of rotate this down a little bit. Although I don't want to cover her shoe. Anyways, you get the idea. So this will be a lot easier when I start like actually gluing things down. So I really like that. I think that that looks really good. I don't need a lot of embellishment because this pattern paper is pretty busy, like, you know what I mean? So the nice thing is the backdrop of my photos is pretty solid, which is nice. So, all right, let's do these little rub-ons here. These are so fun. So I cut them apart, like I said, so that I don't risk rubbing on the one next to it, kind of a thing. And then I'm going to just pull off this backing, and I have this little tool here. Woo! And then I'm going to throw it on the floor, because why not? And then I'm going to stick this kind of just across the bottom of my layout, like so. And then I'm just going to rub along here. Like this. And then I'm going to be able to like pull this up. And it like really, it rubs on just. And then as I'm pulling up, I can kind of make sure it's come off. And if it hasn't, like that one didn't come off all the way, I can just lay it back down, rub it again. There. Oh, that one. Missed one. Nope, missed that one. There's a lot of little stitches on here, you know. Oh, there's a little piece. Ta-da! Look how cute that is across the bottom. And those will be the straightest stitches you will ever see me stitch, because sewing straight is not something I can do. So let's do this other one. Just kind of rubbed it on there. And we're working our way across. This other tip is a little bit stiffer. This tip on my little tool here, it seems to work just a little better. Remember when we used to do this with like popsicle sticks? Yeah, that would work too. Ta-da! Yeah, that worked better. Okay, how cute is that little stitching? Doesn't that add just such a fun little extra? And I think some of these flowers I'm gonna want to like pop up. So I'm gonna glue this little button down here. You know what would be fun is to maybe like do a little stitching in that buttonhole with some white twine. I'm gonna grab some and do that. Okay, I just grabbed some white like embroidery floss and a needle with a kind of a bigger head eye, I guess is what it's called. There we go. And I just I'm gonna poke, get a little pokey tool here. Okay. And then just stitch like an X here. This is okay. And just tie a little knot in the back. That'll kind of carry that little stitching theme over into my embellishment cluster. Cute, huh? Okay, isn't that fun? Got a little bit of detail there. It's the little things, right? Okay, kind of want this. Whoop. Right there. No. So This is just so cute. And that's going to come right up here. I think I want to scoot this one over just kind of like in there. All right, and then let's add some liquid adhesive to the back of my Superstar. I am definitely biggest fan of this very talented, driven daughter of mine. Biggest cheerleader, right? Isn't that our job as moms? Well, it's easy to be her cheerleader. She's amazing. Okay. Right in there. Perfect. I love that liquid glue because it'll dry clear. All right, let's add the stitching across the top of my layout. I'm just going to take that backing off. Try to line that up straight. I'm kind of rubbing it down so it's kind of already starting to stick into place. And then I'm just gonna you know what? I wonder, actually, like a bone folder would also work well here because it's got a little bit of a, you know, wider edge for this wider stitching. It comes off pretty easy, like off of the carrier sheet. So just kind of, I'm sure most of us have something in, I don't know how much of my head you guys are getting in that camera. Hopefully not, but you have something in your craft room that would work. So hopefully giving you a few ideas of what would work. All right. I'm going to start with the stitching because there is a chance this leaf or the, you know, might overlap the stitching a little bit. So I'm going to take that off. Okay, and then I'm just gonna slowly pull it off, and that was like slick. That worked really well, the bone folder. It came right off. There you go. So this was a little stiffer, and I think like my piece here is a little more flimsy. So this end is stiffer, so it worked better, but this gave me a little bit wider surface to rub, especially where the stitching was a little wider. You know what I mean? So just trying a few things. I definitely think you want something that has a little bit of stiffness to it. That worked, and that bone folder worked really well. Okay, we are just about done here. Let's just finish up these last couple embellishments. My goodness, I'm just throwing things around today. So I just threw my adhesive, and it totally popped open. Wow. Don't need to be dramatic. Throw stuff. Okay. And gonna look, see if I wanted to repeat that. With another button. Look at those cute ones. These gold ones and yellow ones are super cute too. Okay, so I kind of want this to slide under here so that when I put, which it's the same leaf that's in the paper, but then when I put my blue flower on there and have it popped up, it stands out a little better, because the pattern paper that was like right and I don't know that I want to pull in like another color here. Like I wish I had this little one, gold one, in another color, you know, although I don't mind the gold. If I'm going to do that gold, maybe I will switch out this green one. Let's see. I might add that gold one down there. That's cute too. Okay, I just need like a little thin. I have like half of my scrapbook stuff all packed up because I am getting ready for a crop this next week. So, and I'm going to be out of town for the first half of the week before I go to my crop. And then I get back from that after the crop, and that's when I leave for convention, when this will be posted. Needless to say, it's a little crazy. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and stitch this one as well. So June has been a very fun and busy month. I think July will thankfully be a little quieter, so I can get back to doing some more scrapbooking. I feel like it's been forever since I've posted a workshop or anything, and it's just because I honestly have just been running from one thing to the next, but all good things, so I'm grateful. It's good. Okay. Lots of fun things. This is just a fun little extra detail. Just fun. Oh my gosh. Okay. I was recently watching on Netflix. I'll have shows on my iPad that I don't have to really pay attention to because, well, I'm like editing pictures or something like that. And I was watching the on Netflix that Dallas Cowboy cheerleader making the team, or I don't even know what it's called. And season 1, and one of the moms was talking about her daughter that was trying out for the team, and she pulled out her scrapbook that was all about like pictures of her daughter and her dancing journey from like a little cute little girl like and into older and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, she has a scrapbook. It was so fun. Anyways, it was way cute. I wish it was like, I mean, it was on Netflix. It's a show. It's not like I could like comment, but I was like, oh my gosh, I love your scrapbook. That's so awesome. Anyways, yeah. So there you go. Dallas Cowboy cheerleader has a scrapbook. So I stuck that there, and now I actually want to just try it out in a few other places. I love little like word strips. I may need to put a little bit of 3D foam tape on the back on the one side so that, because where that flower's popped up. Like that. And then pull out my tweezers here. And I kind of think I want it like maybe up here a little bit. Oh, I think the adhesive is off. Just so it kind of spreads that out a little bit. So, and I did put that on there. And I do like this one down here. So I'm going to just add one more little dot behind this. Okay, this daughter actually she was judging me hardcore because she came in and I paused it so if I could hear her, whatever she was to talk to me. And she's like, what are you watching? Well, yeah, it was very judgy. What are you watching? Okay, oh my gosh. I was thinking I might want to add a little bling, but let me go grab my little ones and see. Okay, so because I was originally thinking I would add silver bling, but because I added these little gold flowers, which, are you guys loving this layout? Let me just, it might just be that last little finishing touch. Oh, I do love me some bling. I think I like it. But yeah, because I did the gold, or that gold little flower, I think I want to do gold that one, I was going to say that little sticky backing did not come off with it. There it goes. I think just those two on that cluster. This one I want kind of under the flower a little bit, like that. Super cute! Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm gonna maybe move this one. Nope, I'm not moving that one. There we go. So fun. So fun. Okay. All right. Boy, I've got stuff everywhere over here, but I think that's a wrap. I'm really pleased with how this layout turned out. Let's just take a look one more time at our project recipe. So I kept true to the base structure of the layout. I did adjust this to hold more photos, which worked really well. I like how that came together. I didn't really follow the bling embellishment, but those are just suggestions anyways, right? And I love my clusters. I like my title. I know Superstar it doesn't say violin recital or anything like that, but I don't think it needs to say that. I think it's kind of fun to use different titles, and she, in my opinion, is a superstar. So, and playing the violin is her happy place. She just loves that. And like I said, I'm going to be adding this peekaboo pocket right here that'll flip up, and I'll have all my journaling about her senior recital on the back. And yeah, that's a wrap for me. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget that after you finish watching this video and like and subscribe my YouTube channel, head on over to Kimberly's. There'll be a link in the description, and check out what she did with this sketch. Everything she does is amazing. So she is just quite the inspiration. And if you have any questions about creative memories, about joining my team or anything like that, let me know. This is such a fun hobby. Even Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders have scrapbooks. So, all right, with that, that's it for me today. And as always, happy scrapbooking.